So today I have a couple quick little tips. I want to show you what I'm up to. As you can see here, I am building a nightstand. So there's going to be a drawer here. I'll grab the face real quick. So I've made these fluted panels, but right now what I need to do is cut the top. So as you can see here, the bottom actually isn't quite perfect, but you're never going to see it, so it's all good. I need to cut this to fit here. It's going to hang over just a little bit each way, a little bit over the front. And so here's the problem. This is, let's see the width on this. Currently, it is a little over 12 inches, which exceeds what I can do on my miter saw. And I don't have a way to cross cut it on my table saw. So in this case, I'm going to use my track saw, and I'm going to take it outside. I know a lot of people, when it comes to the cordless, they say, why should I have it? You know, you're going to have a dust extraction hose anyways. Well, the nice thing is I can take outside, not have dust everywhere in here. I enjoy working outside when I can. So we're going to take this outside and we're going to cut it to fit. Hopefully the audio is all right, but before I make some cuts, I want to talk about what I'm using. So obviously I have my track saw. Again, I love the fact that it's cordless, so I can bring it out here and work when I feel like it. Now, as far as tracks go, a lot of the tracks that come supplied are going to be around 50 or so inches. I love using a 32 inch. This is the FS 800, and it's perfect for something like this, which is only a little over a foot wide. When you use bigger tracks, it comes very unwieldy, and it's not an enjoyable experience. And also too, when you're maneuvering in small areas, it's nice to have something smaller. So I have currently attached this Festool guide rail. It does do angles. I use them sometimes, but a lot of times I like to use it this way. What's nice about it is this. When you put it onto the material, so it butts up against there, and notice how part of it is actually resting on the piece. So that provides stability, which I love having. Whoops. Now, we have one made by TSO. I had the parallel guide attached to it, so when attached, it actually does work pretty well. I think it provides about the same amount of reference distance on here, reference length. But unless you have the parallel guide attached to it, it's not going to rest on there, and it can rock back and forth. So I do find this one to be a little more stable and a bit more compact. So I'm going to use the Festool one in this, and I'll show you how I use these little blocks to raise up the workpiece, and that way I don't cut into this aluminum table. So I got these from Menards. They were pretty cheap, I think like $2 or $3 each. They have grips on them. They also have these little pointy things so that for, if you're trying to paint, you can put the workpiece on this, so minimal contact. But for this, what we're going to do is we're just taking off just a little bit right here, because when we glued up, it wasn't perfect. It was close, but it wasn't perfect, and we need a nice reference edge. So just make sure it's well supported, and then let's just take our rail guide and put it over. So we're just going to line it up here. That way we cut every little bit, and I can see that it's a little bit off. So that's perfectly fine, and then we're going to make our cut now. Unfortunately, I lost the dialogue, but as you can see here, I'm actually using a 28 tooth blade, especially with hardwood, that way it doesn't burn. Now, the way I'm flipping over the board, I'm actually trying to maintain the same reference edge. That way, if there's any discrepancies, I'm still staying quite close to square. I think in the end, it actually is still square, but take a look at all that dust coming out of there. That's sawdust. What's nice about the Festool saw and most track saws is it really captures a ton of dust. And when you're working outside, it's not a big deal, but when you're working inside, I love the fact that I'm getting about 90% dust collection. So as you can see, I really love this guide for the saw. So let's talk about this. So this thing is almost complete in terms of being cut. Before I make the last cuts, I do like to put it on there just to kind of make sure that my measurements actually make sense in real life. But as you can see, using the track saw, I made quick work of this, particularly this setup. Like I said, having this shorter rail with this particular guide on it, again, by having this section laying on the workpiece, it prevents it from basically doing this motion, which is a little iffy when you're cutting. I like the stability, but yeah. So now I need to finish this up, and I will see you guys in the next video. Hopefully there were some tips or some other things. If you guys have any questions, again, just leave them in the comments. Talk to you guys soon.